Welcome to Just Listen Books channel. Immerse yourself in the world of literature as we summarize books and deliver them in audio form. Perfect for your car rides, travels, and daily activities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. Let the journey into the world of books begin. The Four Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom, by Don Miguel Ruiz, offers a powerful and transformative insight into how we can create a life of freedom, happiness, and love. Drawing on ancient Toltec wisdom, Ruiz identifies how self-limiting beliefs create needless suffering and proposes four simple yet profound agreements to live by that counteract these beliefs. This extended summary delves into the essence and profound implications of each agreement, exploring how they can transform our lives. Chapter 1. The first agreement in Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, Be Impeccable with Your Word, is profound in its simplicity, yet challenging in its implementation. This chapter delves deeply into the concept of impeccability in our speech and thought, highlighting the significant impact our words have on ourselves and others. Here's a detailed exploration of this agreement. Understanding word in a broader sense. Ruiz expands the meaning of word beyond spoken language. It encompasses thoughts, feelings, expressions, and beliefs. Essentially, any form of communication, internal or external. To be impeccable with your word is to be responsible and conscious of all these forms of communication. It's about aligning them with the values of truth and love, the power of words. Ruiz emphasizes the extraordinary power that words hold. They have the ability to create and shape reality, influence emotions, and alter perspectives. Words can build up or break down, heal or harm. This power isn't just metaphorical, it's literal in how our words impact our lives and the lives of those around us. Impeccability means without sin. Ruiz breaks down the word impeccable. Derived from the Latin peccatus, sin, and without, it literally means without sin. In this context, sin refers to anything that goes against oneself. Thus, being impeccable with your word means using it in a way that doesn't go against yourself or others. It's about speaking with integrity and choosing words that promote positivity and growth. The impact on self. A significant part of this agreement focuses on how we use words on ourselves. Negative self-talk, self-rejection, and criticism are ways we sin against ourselves. Our internal dialogue often contains limiting beliefs and destructive criticisms. Ruiz encourages readers to be mindful of this internal dialogue, transforming it into positive and supportive communication. The role of gossip. Ruiz identifies gossip as one of the most harmful uses of words. Gossip involves spreading stories about others, often exaggerated or untrue, which can cause harm and perpetuate conflict. By engaging in gossip, we misuse our word in a way that harms others and ultimately ourselves. Ruiz suggests that by refraining from gossip and speaking kindly and truthfully about others, we can improve our relationships and foster a more positive environment. Words create emotional poisons. Words have the power to create emotional poisons like fear, anger, and jealousy. When we speak or think negatively, these poisons can infect our perspective and interactions. Being impeccable with our word means refusing to spread these poisons through negative speech. The ripple effect of words. Ruiz also discusses the ripple effect of words. What we say and think creates a wave of energy that can affect the world around us. By choosing words of love and positivity, we contribute to a more loving and positive environment, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Practical steps for implementation. Ruiz suggests practical ways to implement this agreement in daily life. This includes pausing before speaking, considering the impact of your words, and consciously shifting negative thoughts to positive ones. It's a practice of mindfulness in communication, requiring constant attention and effort. The challenge of change. Changing how we use our words is challenging because our habits of speech and thought are deeply ingrained. Ruiz acknowledges this difficulty, but emphasizes the profound impact that this change can have on our lives. It's a gradual process of becoming more aware and making more conscious choices about the words we use. Chapter 2. The second agreement in Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, Don't Take Anything Personally, provides a transformative perspective on how we interpret and react to the actions and words of others. This chapter delves into the reasons why we often internalize others' behaviors and how we can liberate ourselves from this habit. Here's a detailed exploration of this agreement. The projection of reality. Ruiz begins by explaining that every individual lives in their own unique reality, or dream, shaped by personal experiences, beliefs, and emotions. When someone expresses an opinion or a judgment, they are projecting their own reality onto us. Understanding this is key to not taking things personally. Nothing others do is because of you. A central tenet of this agreement is the idea that what others say or do is more about them than it is about you. Their actions and words are a reflection of their own internal state and reality. Ruiz emphasizes that when you truly understand this, you become immune to the negative opinions and actions of others. The source of suffering. Taking things personally is identified as a major source of needless suffering. Ruiz explains that when we internalize others' opinions and criticisms, we let external factors dictate our happiness and self-worth. This agreement teaches us to detach from these external influences. The poison of personal importance. Ruiz discusses how taking things personally is often tied to a sense of self-importance. We believe that everything is about us, which makes us vulnerable to being hurt by others. By releasing this sense of personal importance, we can let go of our emotional reaction to what others say or do. The freedom of detachment. The freedom that comes from not taking anything personally is profound. When you stop allowing others' words and actions to affect your inner peace and self-worth, you gain a sense of liberation and emotional resilience. You become more capable of responding to situations and feedback objectively and constructively. The challenge with positive assumptions. Ruiz points out that not taking anything personally applies to positive feedback as well. While it's easy to accept praise and positive comments, becoming dependent on them for self-validation is equally problematic. True self-worth should come from within, not from the opinions of others. The power of immunity. Ruiz uses the metaphor of immunity to describe the state of not taking things personally. Just as the body becomes immune to a virus, the mind can become immune to the emotional poison that comes from others' opinions and actions. Responding versus reacting. A significant part of this agreement involves learning to respond rather than react. Reacting is emotional and automatic, while responding is thoughtful and deliberate. This shift is crucial in not taking things personally and maintaining emotional balance. Practical application. Ruiz suggests practical steps to incorporate this agreement into daily life. This includes observing your reactions to others, questioning the true source of your emotional responses, and reminding yourself that others' actions and words are about them, not you. The path to inner peace. Ultimately, not taking anything personally leads to inner peace. It allows individuals to navigate life with more emotional stability and clarity. It fosters healthier relationships because interactions are no longer clouded by unnecessary emotional turmoil. Chapter 3. The third agreement in Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, Don't Make Assumptions, addresses a common source of human suffering and misunderstanding, our tendency to make assumptions about everything. This chapter explains how these assumptions often lead to unnecessary drama and pain, and offers guidance on how to avoid this trap. Here's a detailed exploration of this agreement. The nature of assumptions. Ruiz begins by illustrating how people have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. We do this for many reasons, often because it feels easier to fill in the blanks than to seek clarity. These assumptions are based on our beliefs, experiences, and personal biases, and while they might seem to simplify understanding, they often lead to significant misunderstandings and miscommunications. The problem with assumptions. The core issue with assumptions is that they are often far from the truth. Ruiz explains that when we assume, we believe our conjectures are true, leading to a distorted view of reality. This can cause us to react emotionally and make decisions based on these false truths, which often leads to unnecessary conflict and hurt. Communication breakdown. Assumptions often lead to a breakdown in communication. Ruiz points out that assuming we know what others are thinking or feeling means we stop directly communicating with them. This lack of clear and open communication can damage relationships and create separation and isolation. Fear as the root of assumptions. Ruiz identifies fear as the underlying reason we make assumptions. We're often afraid to ask for clarification because it can make us feel vulnerable or insecure. But making assumptions is a way of avoiding the potential discomfort of asking questions and seeking the truth. The solution: ask questions. The antidote to making assumptions, according to Ruiz, is to have the courage to ask questions. By asking for clarity and expressing what we really want to know, we can avoid misunderstandings. This requires a degree of vulnerability and openness, which can be challenging but is ultimately liberating and leads to deeper connections with others. Clear communication. Ruiz stresses the importance of clear communication in relationships. By ensuring we understand and are understood, we can avoid drama and suffering. Clear communication also involves listening actively and attentively, which helps in not making assumptions about what the other person is conveying. The power of doubt. In this context, doubt is not seen as a negative trait, but as a tool for questioning our own assumptions. Ruiz encourages readers to doubt their own beliefs and to always verify if their assumptions are true. This process of doubting and checking helps in dismantling false beliefs and perceptions. Impact on personal relationships. Ruiz dives into the impact of assumptions in personal relationships, where they can cause significant harm. By making assumptions, we create a narrative about others without their input, which can lead to feelings of misunderstanding, sadness, and betrayal. Living with openness and honesty. To avoid making assumptions, Ruiz advocates for living with openness and honesty. This involves being honest about our thoughts and feelings and being open to hearing the truth from others, even when it might be uncomfortable. Transforming our lives. Finally, Ruiz explains that by committing to not making assumptions, we can transform our lives. We can create more honest, open, and fulfilling relationships. We reduce stress, conflict, and misunderstanding. Our interactions become grounded in truth and reality, rather than in the fictions created by our assumptions. Chapter 4. The fourth and final agreement in Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, Always Do Your Best, is a call to live each moment to its fullest potential. This chapter emphasizes the importance of consistently applying oneself, regardless of the circumstances, while understanding that one's best can vary from moment to moment. Here's a detailed exploration of this agreement: the fluidity of your best. Ruiz begins by acknowledging that your best is not a fixed standard. It varies depending on various factors such as health, mood, and circumstances. He emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and self-compassion in recognizing that your best at any given moment is enough, even if it differs from day to day. The link to the other agreements. This agreement is seen as the enabler of the other three agreements. Ruiz points out that doing your best is the way to ensure that you are as impeccable with your word as possible, avoid making assumptions, and not take things personally. It acts as a catalyst to integrate these principles deeply into your life. Avoiding self-judgment and regret. A key aspect of this agreement is the emphasis on effort rather than perfection. Ruiz advises against self-criticism and regret. By always doing your best, you can avoid the self-judgment that often comes with perceived failure or mistakes. It's about the process and commitment rather than the outcome. The power of action. Ruiz discusses the transformative power of consistent action. By always doing your best, you create a habit of proactive engagement with life. This continuous effort helps to dissolve negative habits and beliefs, facilitating personal growth and mastery. Connection to personal integrity. Doing your best is also linked to personal integrity. It's about aligning actions with your values and beliefs. Ruiz suggests that when your efforts reflect your true intentions and capabilities, you live with authenticity and integrity. Handling fluctuating circumstances. The chapter acknowledges the ebb and flow of life's circumstances and how they impact our capacity to perform. Ruiz encourages embracing these fluctuations without judgment, adapting your efforts to your current situation, and recognizing that doing your best means respecting your limits and not overextending yourself. The role of practice. Ruiz emphasizes that always do your best is a practice. It requires conscious effort and dedication. This practice is not about occasional exertion, but about maintaining a consistent level of effort in all aspects of life. Avoiding self-abuse. An important caution Ruiz offers is to avoid using this agreement to justify self-abuse. Doing your best does not mean pushing yourself to the point of breakdown. It's about a balanced effort that respects your physical, emotional, and mental limits. The cycle of improvement. Ruiz explains how continuously doing your best leads to a cycle of improvement. As you apply this agreement, you grow stronger and become more skilled at implementing the other 3 agreements. It creates a positive feedback loop in personal development. Joy and satisfaction. There is a focus on the joy and satisfaction that come from doing your best. Ruiz notes that when you know you've given your all, there is a sense of peace and fulfillment that cannot be achieved through half-hearted efforts. The 4 agreements, as presented by Ruiz, are more than just guidelines. They are tools for transformation. They challenge us to examine and alter the deep-seated beliefs and habits that govern our lives. Ruiz explains that these self-limiting beliefs are the result of societal, cultural, and familial conditioning, agreements we have unconsciously made throughout our lives. By consciously adopting these new agreements, we can break free from those limitations and create a life that reflects our true selves. Implementing these agreements is not a straightforward task. It requires constant awareness, dedication, and a commitment to personal growth. Ruiz acknowledges the challenges but also emphasizes the profound changes that can come from living these agreements. They enable us to live in a more harmonious and fulfilling way, not just with others but with ourselves. In summary, the 4 agreements invites us to embark on a journey towards personal freedom, challenging us to rethink the way we communicate, perceive, and interact with the world. By being impeccable with our words, not taking things personally, not making assumptions, and always doing our best, we can transform our lives from a state of limitation and fear to one of freedom, happiness, and love. The journey to incorporating these agreements into our daily life is both challenging and deeply rewarding, offering a path to a life lived with greater ease, grace, and wisdom. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Your support means the world to us. Click subscribe and hit the bell to be the first to enjoy our upcoming audiobooks. Together, let's continue this amazing journey through stories and tales.